everyone. Hi. Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Hi.
welcome to Oklahoma. Have either of you have been to Oklahoma before?
No.
Nope,
It's your
never.
first time.
Our first time.
Well, let's
It's
give them a
our
big Oklahoma
virginal
welcome.
trip.
So before I ask you all some questions, I have one question for you guys. Do we have any Outlaw Queen fans out here?
Oh, I've messed up the whole thing.
Duo.
Coming between
Oh,
us
sorry.
again, De Ravin.
Well, that was another story that we have not told yet.
No, the reboot is you
Yes.
are offspring. So apparently, no. Yeah, we've never been here, but Oklahoma is a very interesting place. Beautiful parks.
Very
Beautiful
beautiful.
parks with. I saw art structures in there, right from my
Yes.
window.
Art structures.
Yeah, art
structures?
not
Really?
structures. What is installations. Thank
Like,
you.
huh,
Art
but-
installations.
And pretty things out of the room for me
Yes.
to look at.
Yes.
I haven't left the room that much. So the architecture of the parks, I would say, is on par.
So I have to ask, it's been a few years since the show aired, but it clearly still lives on. And when you're shooting, right, and you finish, you wrap up, and maybe you hear how it's doing in ratings, you hear that, but can you talk about what it's like to come to events like GalaxyCon, to be able to meet your fans and listen to their stories about how this show affected them?
You want to start, John?
It's overwhelming and incredibly sweet because, like as you say, when you're making a show, it's the day-to-day, it's our job and we love it, and we're so lucky that we all love each other and we really got along well as a cast. But
Yeah, but you're in that.
we're in a bubble kind
Bubble,
of thing.
and you don't see-
And
yeah.
we're all away from home because the show shot in Vancouver, and so most of us were away from our home and our families. But when you come to conventions and you meet people and you see how much the show meant to them, or that it got them through a particularly tough time, or that it's a comfort, it's such a wonderful gift to receive from the people that we make it for. So yeah, I think we all feel really very, very blessed and lucky that we got to be part of something that meant so much to so many people.
There was a woman today who started crying because she mentioned that she watched the show with her daughter, and it was like really special and important time for them to bond and connect. And we had never met before, and I told her I hear this quite often, and it's lovely. It is lovely just to sort of echo Sean, like to be a part of something that has really inspired and changed lives, which I think is very unusual for a television show.
Right.
It is, and a show that has had, like, you can be, well, maybe over 6, but no, but 6 to 65, whatever,
Right.
and then that's not usual to have a show that you can watch as a whole family.
Absolutely.
So having a family, for me, same thing. It's like pretty cool to have a show that like my kids can now start. Well,
Not quite, almost.
one can start watching a little bit, not
Right.
all of them, but like separate parts of the episodes. But no, it's like so many stories of friends and people saying like how it's brought you together.
And with streaming, so the show last ran in 2018?
Yes,
It's
2000. It was 2011 to 2018.
How many of you actually started watching after
Oh.
2018, since 2018?
Well, that's a lot.
Oh.
I know there are a lot of new fans, people that came on,
Good.
like even just, during COVID. That was something to binge. Once was definitely a binge show for many during that period.
What about this show makes you think, as you look out and you see all those hands, and you have these new fans that didn't watch the show during its initial run, what about this show still brings those new fans?
I think it's just, it's everyone's probably arc,
Escape.
as well. Like
think-
it's their whole
don't you think?
journey. What's that?
Escape.
Well, yeah, escapism for sure. But I think like
In a
you
good
can
way.
escape into anything. But I think
Yes.
like these characters they're iconic. You've known them
Right.
from other stories, obviously, and so they're much more relatable. And I think a lot of our arcs were inspiring for many young women, especially.
You mentioned, people know these characters. What is the mentality of giving your spin on these characters, on the Evil Queen, on Belle, on Robin Hood? There's been a myriad of different types, and whether it's been animated, live action, these characters have been there. How do you give what do you do to prepare for your own spin, so that way you're not too much like somebody else, but still you want to give some of that legacy to the characters?
I think one of the triumphs of the show, and they rarely get the accolades they deserve, is the casting department did a phenomenal job of finding the right individual for each role. I mean, you can't really imagine anybody else playing the Evil Queen. You can't imagine anybody else playing Belle. And I
Or
think,
Robin.
well, that's very sweet. I mean, a lot of people have said Tom Ellis was much better. I'm like, I completely agree. I think he was really good.
No.
He's very handsome and very tall, and yes.
I liked him. No.
Well, bless you.
That's
That's very kind.
that's actually like an unspoken thing,
Thanks.
isn't it?
But I think.
And no, are you kidding?
them
I wouldn't have
but them-
imagined doing stuff with you that was not with. That was. he,
I think them, casting the right actors for the roles, and it's, as you said, these are characters that have been around for many, many years, and so, finding that right actor that can come in and inhabit that character and kind of put their own thumbprint on it. But obviously, we're very much guided by the stories that the writers gave us. Do you know what I mean? Our job is to bring that to life in as a genuine way that we can. And I think also the fact that we all, I think, really, really loved each other as a cast and got along very well. That, I think, comes through on screen. Chemistry between you and Bobby Carlyle, and myself and Lana, or Colin and Jennifer. The fact that we all really liked each other, I think, makes a big difference to how you guys view the show.
And I think also, to kind of go back to playing iconic characters that you've seen other renditions of, I studied all of them because I wanted to see what they did. But I think at the end of the day, we have to have our own thumbprint on it. And I think what helps with that is really just playing them as human as possible. And not connecting it to not connecting these characters to a fairy tale or, a Disney or anything, just playing them as real humans as you would approach any other role that you would play.
I didn't do that. No, and possibly to my detriment, I did not. I had never seen Beauty and the Beast, which probably a lot of you know, before I did my first episode, which was going to be one episode. That was it, because they were what Adam and Eddie had done, a bunch of episodes of Lost and produced them and wrote them and done a wonderful job. So they were like, would you like to do an episode? And I was like, yes, love Bobby. And they also said, don't watch it. So I was like, cool. Just do my shit. Okay, so and they're like, yep, let's do it. And it worked.
She said ship, just in case you were wondering. She's talking about ships and shipping, just in case there was any confusion.
I heard trips. I heard trips.
Anyway.
Milo, what's your next question?
Speaking of those fairy tales, were there any stories, any fairy tales, any characters? That's the tornado. Everyone down.
It's because I said shit.
All right.
Our sister's on her way.
I said shit. They're closing
Selena's
it
going
down.
to show up any second.
Were there any characters, any fairy tales that you loved that? See.
So is that something we really should be concerned about? And it's welcome to Oklahoma. Everyone's a tornado's coming tonight and acting super casual about it. And I just thought, yeah, I'm a New York, LA girl.
Right.
We don't deal
Somebody
with
said
tornadoes.
it's what we do here.
We deal with tornadoes and personalities, but yeah, but everyone's like, no, this is our 5th warning this week or something. I'm like, okay.
There's people right now who are live streaming all over the internet. There's people in California going, "What's a tornado?"
That does mean the same thing here as it does there, right? Big gushing winds and houses flying off and landing on.
I feel like
On
anything
witches,
in LA
yes.
is not as bad as it is in the rest of the world.
So,
We just make a drama out of everything.
all right, hopefully we don't get interrupted again. Back to fairy tales. Are there any characters that you would have liked to see included in Once Upon a Time?
Mary Poppins.
That would have been good,
Oh
actually.
my God, can you imagine?
How did they not think of
I
that?
don't know. She's like the most. She's my also
we
my
ever have anything-
personal favorite.
The Wizard
Like,
of Oz? I mean,
you
I know
know-
that's not Disney, but like,
No, we
did
had
we
the
never
Wi-
had like
we had the
Dorothy or the
Wicked Witch.
Scarecrow or any of that. They're kind of iconic
We
fairy
had
tale.
Super
Yeah.
iconic. yeah.
Zelina.
Oh, well, yeah, Zelina.
Oh
sorry,
my
sorry.
God, you've forgotten your whole
I have,
thing.
yeah.
But no, Mary
I never saw the show, so I'm playing catch up here.
Poppins.
Mary Poppins would have been a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But
No,
those guys are
I
pretty
think
clever.
I think we did it.
They
You think
did. They
I
did
think-
pretty
I
well. I
think-
think.
They're yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I always wanted like Darth Vader to show up.
That would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
So now Disney owns everything.
Right now,
Get
yeah,
mixed up in a love triangle.
Yeah. Yeah. You.
Yeah,
Me. Vader.
Yeah. The,
I am your lover.
the trio.
Be like, no, Darth, she's mine.
I mean, that would have been fun to play.
That would have.
They're both fighting over me. This is great.
Belle was just in the corner with Rumble.
Hashtag Darth Queen.
Darth Queen.
I can see me getting ousted already. They're going to go back and go, this Robin Hood thing was not working out. We got Darth Vader instead.
So by the way, we do have some time if you feel like lining up, and we'll get to some questions. As we go ahead, start lining up. As folks are lining up, I want to ask you, while doing conventions such as GalaxyCon, or even on set, has there been a moment where maybe there was a cameo or another celebrity, or while you're backstage in the green room, or you're sitting next to another guest at these conventions? Have you ever had that fanboy moment where you saw somebody you either couldn't speak, or you maybe spoke too much, you put your foot in your mouth?
Oh, loads of time. That's one of the most fun things, because, you know, if you guys are presumably here because you're fans of Once Upon a Time. Well, we're all fans of, you know, shows and movies and stuff, and almost every convention that I go to, I end up meeting somebody that I admire their work, or I've just become really good friends with Homelander from The Boys. He's the coolest dude in the world. We're like, we gotta hang out. I was like, yeah, you're really cool. And I'm like, oh, and he's Homelander, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I think we're fans just like everybody else.
Same
and
for
so
me though with him.
I'm very excited just
No,
to sit
that's
beside
him.
you.
Literally, the
What?
same guy.
Yeah,
That's my moment.
you like
Yes.
him as well?
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm friends with him. I'll introduce you. we're good buds now. But yeah, I think we do.
You can get him
like,
to sign your arm.
We're just big geek fans as well, and so
Totally.
you know, there's always great people in the green room, and that's all the time we have. So thanks everybody. But yeah, so that's one of the things that makes these things really fun for us too, and we get to hang out with people we look up to and admire.
Lana,
Oh.
anybody? Darth
Gosh,
Vader.
yeah, there's been a handful of people. A lot sometimes when you do them internationally as well. Oh, yeah. Like Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah. I got a photo with him. Jason Isaacs. That was really cool.
With him too.
God, who else? There's so many. Robert Englund, which terrified me growing up, but I was really excited to meet him.
I met some of the cast. I spent my 39th birthday in Australia with standing on a balcony with Doc Brown from Back to the Future, having a
Yep, there's
having
that.
a
Seen
scotch
him.
with Doc Brown. I was like, if I could tell 10-year-old me
Yeah.
that I'm going to spend my 39th birthday with the Doc, I just kept going, the Doc, you know, just.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah.
Do that though.
No, I didn't
So
do it
cool.
to him. In my head, I was just geeking out. But I was like, it's Christopher Lloyd. I mean, icon, legend. So.
I have a guy,
You
so
do
I
see
don't know who he
legends.
was, that did Venom as a voice for something, that my 5-year-old is like very obsessed with anything Spider-Man. So I got an autograph for him, and he was like, oh my God, I love you more than anyone in my life. And Eric's like, stop.
So yes, in answer to your question, yes, we're big fans.
Well, then there was like Juliette Lewis recently when she started coming out, and I did a convention with her I think, in New Orleans. There were a lot of cool people at that event. And watched her my entire career
Right.
because we're
Natural
not
born-
that far in age.
Yeah,
She's just fantastic.
Absolutely. Natural born killers. So,
Oh my God,
so
so
iconic.
many things.
So iconic.
So many things. Yeah, she's amazing. Cape Fear.
Would you like to answer some audience questions?
Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Nolan. I have a question. Out of all the different Once Upon a Time storylines, like Peter Pan or The Wicked Witch, which one would be you guys' favorite?
Peter Pan.
It's hard to say.
For me, Peter Pan.
You mean the ones that we did, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess season 3 was great. It was one of my favorite seasons because you got both. You got Peter Pan and the Wicked Witch,
Yeah.
the evil witch.
And we're all very
The
good
Wicked
friends
Queen.
with Rebecca Mader, and you know, like
Yeah.
I said, we're all very
And
close as a
Bobby.
cast. And Robert
And
Carlyle
Robbie.
was one
Robbie.
of my acting heroes. So when I met him, that was one of those
Robbie
moments.
Kay.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, I grew up in London. Train spotting was a really big deal for our whole country. So to get to work and be on
Bobby.
on a set with Bobby Carlyle is just crazy. But also, I recognize you, Nolan. You know, this guy's being very modest. He's actually a supporting actor in the new movie Twister, which is coming out on June 3rd, right?
You're in the right city for it.
So you might want to get this guy's autograph before he becomes too big and famous for you.
Congratulations.
I'm only background.
I know, but no small parts, buddy. Only small actors.
Don't say that, okay? You're not only
I'm going to
that.
go see it just for you.
Thank you.
So sweet.
Hello.
Hi.
Is that microphone impossibly high?
Yes.
Can somebody help her lower that
can you-
microphone? Because otherwise everyone's... I just have a question
you.
about...
I have a question for three of y'all. What is your favorite show or a movie that y'all have starred in besides Once Upon a Time?
I'd say Swingtown. I just,
You
not
were
many people
so-
know that
you were
show,
so
but
good on that.
it was just, I loved working with everyone, and we had such a fun time, and we literally felt like it was 1976, so it was just fun. Costumes. I like
And
anything.
you were like freaking amazing on it.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
What's yours, Em?
Love you. Thank you.
Remember me?
Ah, that's a
Yeah.
good movie. Very good.
Favorite job ever.
My favorite job was a show called Off Center, which was a sitcom that I did in 2001, 2002. And the three guys on that show are still my best friends to this day. All three of them are godfathers to my children. So, you know, it's rare when you have a job when you take away one friend, but if you take away three, or in the case of Once Upon a Time, 12, it's a real... Because shows kind of come and go for us as actors, but occasionally you get one where you take away friends for life. So we'll always be very grateful to Once for the friendships.
Yep.
The friends we made
Thank
along the
you.
way.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
That was a
question.
great question.
Hello.
Hi, it's John. Got a couple of questions. One, what was it like working with a lot of the green screen? And Emily, what was it like working for Wes Craven on Hills Have Eyes?
I'll take The Hills Have Eyes. That was amazing. Very, very hard. It was Morocco in the middle of the summer. And that kind of helped, though, I guess, in a way. It was very hot and very have to shoot and then stop shooting because we couldn't see because of the dust. So, also, obviously, not a very happy movie.
I grew up in the 80s, so I grew up on
What?
horror, but that movie freaked me out.
Yeah, it freaked me out. I was like, scary shit, dude. That was.
Yes, there's a ship in it. There's a very scary ship. It's a vessel.
It
Scary
was.
ship.
Travels
It was-
over the ocean. Young people. Live streaming.
No, not easy at all. Like the whole shoot was super hard, but not in a bad way, I guess. But no, wonderful director, wonderful cast and crew, and like lifetime friends too. Like Vanessa and a lot of people that I talk to every other day. So
And green screen was the other question, John.
yes, I'll let
is a
you take.
bit of a pain in the bum, if I'm being honest, because
I agree.
one of the things when you're acting is you kind of are used to having scenery, and when you can't, like, you can look on the monitor and you can see it. Because I had a long bow, and arrow, which I kept hitting all of my fellow actors
You
with.
hit me so
And
much with that.
the
many
guys on the
times.
monitor would be, your bow just walked through the wall. And I was like, well, can you show me where the wall is? Because I can't see it. So they're like, you need to just do this. I was like, can we just have scenery, please? So it's, and also the rooms, it's sort of almost like this size, right? But even higher. So they're very vast.
Yeah, it is about this size,
And
actually, but yeah, taller.
When you've been in like one of those studios, it's all blue or all green. If you've been in there for like 10, 12 hours, you come out and you're like the children from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You're coming out and you're like, the sun. It's just, you feel like you've been in a goldfish bowl for 12 hours. So it's a little
Disorienting?
Yeah, it's a bit disorientating, but it makes for pretty pictures on the screen. So, you know, we just get on with it.
I actually enjoyed it because I feel like it gave me an opportunity to really tap into my imagination. And so at first I was terrified of it because I'd never been on a set like that or on a stage. But there's really nothing there. I mean, maybe a chaise lounge and like a mirror or, you know, a chair or whatever, or, you know, a post. And you have to, I would do these things where I'd close my eyes and sort of create the world. And it also helped a lot because they would have visuals for us to look at. So they would say, the fireplace is over here, and, you know, the hallway's down this way. And so it really sort of opened up this other part of my brain, which I haven't really tapped into since probably childhood. So I actually enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hello.
In D&D, we call that theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind.
What was the most fun for you guys to portray? And Emilie, did you ever go, why is Belle still with Rumple? I mean, at this point. And Lana, was it more fun to play the evil queen or nice Regina? And Sean, did you ever actually learn to do
I'll
the both?
start. I think that was her choice.
Mm-hmm.
People make their choice, and that's it, basically. She saw the love in him and what worked, and that was it, basically. And that's not something that I promote, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyone out there, I suggest you don't do that. But that's just kind of like, she chose that, you know? Mm-hmm. She chose to see the kindness in him, even though she was abused.
She saw his good side.
Another show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see from that, but yes.
I think for me, I really enjoyed that I had the opportunity to do both. So it was great to play the queen, and then when it just felt like, oh my God, I've been evil for so long, I got to play Regina, and I got to show the struggle in that. So I really liked, of course, the evil queen is more fun in the sense that she's deliciously evil, and she can be, you know, and she's in these amazing costumes, and she has this kind of just way about her that is so delicious. But it's rare that you get to play two versions of a character, or in this case, multiple, because there were so many different levels to her. So it's really hard for me to say which. I really enjoyed both. What was your question?
The bow and arrow was the bane of my existence. Because the very first day on set, I was really concentrating on the character, and I think you know, when you asked earlier, Milo, about how do you play an iconic kind of these legendary kind of characters, and as Lana rightly said, is you don't play the icon, you play the person. And so I was so fixated on trying to breathe life into him and make him real that when I got on set, the props guy gave me the bow and arrow, and I was like, right, bow and arrow. Damn it, I didn't think about that. And I was struggling with it, and there was just unbelievably good luck. This unit photographer, there was a woman on the set, and she was seeing me going like, and she went, do you know much about archery? And I was like, not so much, no. And she went, I happen to be an archer. Would you like some tips? And I was like, what are the odds? Yes, please. And she was like, 3 fingers to the chin, keep your elbow up. And I was like, what a brilliant time for this lady to be there. And so she taught me in about 3 minutes how to look like I knew what I was doing. And then I spent the next 3 years going, where's that lady gone?
You still whacked me
I
a bunch of times.
still kept hitting them on the head, and they're like, could you be more careful? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not used to this thing. So, so it was an interesting challenge. And when people say, oh, so you're good at archery, I'm like, I don't know, I've never fired an arrow. They wouldn't let me, because I'd probably end up killing one of my castmates. So it's all done in post. So I have no idea how to fire a bow and arrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have about 10 minutes left. We're going to try to get through as many as we can, so lightning round. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Michael James, and I had one question for all of y'all. How does it feel to know that some people who have a certain kind of mental illness called dissociative identity disorder might have your characters inside their head?
I don't know enough about this disorder.
Do you know what multiple personalities is?
Oh, is that what you said? What did you call
Dissociative
it?
identity disorder is
disassociated.
what? Yeah.
How do we feel about that? Or?
How do you feel
Like they
knowing that
actually
your
think that-
characters are actually in my head?
Wow. How's it going in there?
I'm sorry. But in what way are they in your head, I guess?
So one of the things is like with dissociative identity disorder, you have different personalities that come out when you need protection for certain things.
Wow. Yeah.
And I have Regina Mills, I have Belle, and I have Robin Hood inside my head.
You know, I mean,
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about the disorder, so please, I have to just preface by saying I could say the wrong thing. And I just don't want to get in trouble for it because I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that if it is helping you, like you mentioned, like sometimes you have to almost act as if you are Regina or Robin in situations where maybe you're not trusting yourself to, you know, your best judgment and like how you would deal with it, and you have to sort of defer to one of the characters to help you navigate. I don't see that as such a bad thing. I think we all kind of do that in ways that we're maybe unconscious about, you know?
All three of y'all are protectors for my body, so when one of them comes out, it's because we're in a fight or flight response, and they're there to protect me.
See, then I don't see that as necessarily
No,
a terrible thing. I think that's
kind
great.
of nice. And I think that was very well answered, by the way.
Thank you.
I do
Well
too.
done.
That
and
was
and we hope that we are of some use to you.
You are. So thank y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is
Hello.
that Liz?
Yes.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Sean.
I know her. She's Liz.
Yes, I'm Liz.
You in the next movie too, Twister?
No.
We all might be in that movie if we're not careful here.
Okay, I have to ask a question from a friend who couldn't be here, so it's for Lana and Sean.
Okay.
So if Regina and Robin were in modern times but not fairy tale characters, what would they be doing and how would they meet? And end up together, obviously.
Ooh, what would they be doing? Do you mean like
Modern
what
times?
occupationally? What would they
Yeah.
do for a living?
Yeah, sure.
I know, I just saw myself tripping over a curb and you picking up my purse. And
Probably.
And putting all the gold coins back in.
Yeah. I don't know. What would we do? You'd probably be running something. You probably would be the mayor of something, or you'd be in charge of something.
I know, I don't think Regina's that clumsy, but I kind of want to make her clumsy for a moment.
Yeah, so we can have our meet.
So we can have our meet, yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you buy me a drink at the bar?
I probably would.
I mean, I can
think
see Regina sitting there by herself.
Whatever
Really bad for her.
whatever version of whatever reality we were ever in, he definitely gravitated towards her. I think that they had like a very special love that transcends time and space. So I think it's one of those, we would find each other no matter what, no
Be
matter
like
where.
a Sex and the City version, and you
Yeah.
would be my Mr. Big.
Yes. I'd be
You'd pull up in your black
I'd be a
Lincoln.
corporate lawyer working pro bono to save the world, one case at a time. And she'd be opposite. We'd be defense and prosecution, and we'd be battling it out in court. But then,
Sean, are you reading fanfic?
then falling in love, and the judge going, order, order, and I'd be like, there is no order because we're in love. And then a heavy makeout session, I would imagine, something like that.
I'll take it.
That's an
I love
entire
that.
show you guys
I think I've just
have.
written a show. Okay.
It's like
Can we trademark that?
That's going to be fanfic one day, I guarantee you.
All right, thank you. Hi,
Thank
Emily,
you.
too. Shout out to Claire Littleton.
Thanks,
thank you.
So I think we got 4 questions left. Hello.
Hi, My name is Caitlin. I'm a huge fan of the show. I have 3 comments and a question. First comment, Regina and Robin. I'm sorry, I'm going to use your names because I associate with characters of people.
That's okay.
So I think that the way the Regina's redemption arc went with Robin seeing the best in her was just so beautiful, and I think that was a huge inspiration to the bad girls out there who are really soft in the inside and need that person to pull that soft girl out, and that was beautiful. I'm emotional, so I might get weepy. And then Belle, I thought your story with Rumple was so beautiful, and yes, it was a little bit, but the way you were able to see the best features in Rumple, or Belle was able to see the best features in Rumple. I know a lot of relationships aren't ideal, and they take a lot of hard work, but the way Belle put the work into that relationship was beautiful. Okay, and then, sorry. One of my biggest...
Don't say sorry. No,
you.
really, I'm serious. Shut up.
You. I love you. And then another thing, the last comment for Regina, one of my biggest issues with, it's a really common trope in movie shows is whenever the bad guy is trying to make that redemption, all of the good guys assume the worst of her, and it makes that come back even harder, and it infuriates me. And every single time I saw Regina trying to be good, and that got shut down by the good guys, I wanted to hug you.
Thanks, I wanted to hug me too.
And then my question, the costuming was fantastic. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. The costuming was so fantastic. I want to know what outfits you guys wore made you feel a certain way, and if you put it on, you immediately felt like, oh my God, I'm fierce. How did the costuming feel? And I know, Robin, you had that kind of one look, which was a great look.
You had the one look, so you're yeah.
He wasn't a big shopper.
Yeah,
He just had one outfit.
Oh my God, we
gave everything away to others.
He lives in a forest with a bunch of dudes.
You
so.
had the better. You had the better fairy tale land stuff. Obviously,
most
duh,
extravagant,
amazing stuff.
is
And
there
then
any-
I got the storybook stuff
and you got the storybook
with the
stuff.
frickin' 6-inch heels that I'm running through the
Oh my
forest.
God, I know. And
Is
those
there-
I
big
can't do now.
gowns and-
Is there any outfits that really stand out to you guys as the ones that you remember putting on and feeling the most wow in?
My wedding-
Yeah, you first.
My wedding dress,
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
and we danced
That was so
to the
beautiful.
to the to the
To
music.
the song.
And they
to
played
the,
it.
from-
They
I know,
played
it.
it.
Was beautiful.
Like they didn't have to do that.
I think I cried
beautiful.
actually
Yeah.
during that scene.
That
I
was a good
did. I
episode.
cried.
And they played it.
There's
Yours,
so many
yours
good
are
ones.
also good.
I know, it's it would be an easier
No,
question
it's all
for
right.
you. It's an
Oh,
outfit
that's
that wasn't great because almost everything you
I
wore
really
was
like the red
fantastic.
velvet, and I think
Yeah.
Yes.
there was something really
Yeah.
feminine and sexy about it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the episode where I seduced the huntsman. I wore
Ooh,
that.
that
in
was
episode 7, I
That
think.
was a
Or
good
s-
one.
yeah,
That was a
I
good
think
one.
I wore it in episode 7, and now it's in my closet.
Woo-hoo! All right. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My question was kind of like that with the outfits. I was wondering if you had a wardrobe in the character, even the ones that you don't play, what wardrobe would you go into and take, borrow for a day?
I have some socks. From, what? They're
have some
nice socks. They're nice socks. I do.
Do you
No,
mean,
but
did we? Are you saying did we keep, or what other character, other actors' costumes would we like, or?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that was the costume designer was called Eduardo, and he's a very famous costume dresser. He's an Emmy award-winning, incredible artist, and every costume that they created was incredible. And some of those costumes were $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. They're really handmade, expensive stuff. But I was just in awe when we'd all travel from our base camp to set, and there'd be all of us in our costumes. I sometimes felt like we were the Avengers or something, because I'd look at these two in their amazing gowns, and Bex would be in her green makeup, and Colin would be in pirate wear, and it was just like, wow, this is kind of cool. So the costumes, I think, were an enormous part of why the show was a success. So we owe all of that to Eduardo.
They also helped transform us into character and help with performance. I mean, putting those shoes on and how you walked in them, it was all part of the character.
how you walked in them.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Emily's
your
like,
question.
you want shoes. But he looked great in them.
Hi, question for Sean and Emily. Two questions. First of all, Sean, could you share some memories of you when you were 7 years old and you got to work with Monty Python. And for Emilie, you were on Lost for several seasons. Just curious, did the producers give you regular cast members any clue to like the overarching aspect of what was going on? Or did they just make that ship, that's with a P, ship, did they just make that ship up as they went along?
Touche.
Sean can go first.
So, for those of you who don't know, my brothers and sisters and I were in a Monty Python movie called The Meaning of Life when I was about 7 years old.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. And all of the, if you know the movie, there's about 60 kids in a room. I come from an Irish Catholic family, and when my mum heard that her children were going to be singing a song called Every Sperm is Sacred, she questioned my father's judgment. And my father was like, it's Monty Python, come on, they're brilliant, they're a classic, you know. So me and all my brothers and sisters were singing, every sperm is sacred. And I was like, Dad, what's a sperm? He's like, shut up, just sing the song. We'll talk about it later. So I didn't realize at the time that I was doing something, you know, they only made 3 movies, and they, as far as I'm concerned, they're the godfathers of comedy, they're genius. And so to be part of that, is an unbelievable thing that I just didn't realize at the time how special it was. So, yeah, very, very fond memories of doing that. Yeah, thank you. Now you.
I'm very taken away by that whole... Sorry, what was your question again?
Did they tell the...
What? How did I know? Okay.
Did they tell the regulars on Lost, did you have any clue about the overarching aspect?
No, not really, basically. I personally, and I think maybe a couple of castmates, were like, oh, it's Purgatory, season 1, episode 1. And they're like, no. And that was it.
Thank you.
We're not going to talk about it. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
All right, last question here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Skylar. I just wanted to say that you guys mean a lot to the fan base out there, and I know a lot to me and my girlfriend. And I had 2 small questions. How are you guys liking Oklahoma so far, even though you guys are only here for like 2 days? And what was y'all's favorite episode that you guys were, I can't think of the
Musical
word.
episode. And Oklahoma's been pretty cool. I kind of wish that we did have.
I have a question for you guys, because I've asked nearly everyone that came to my table. Do you refer to yourself as Oklahomans, or Okies, or Oklahomies?
I've heard all 3 personally.
I like Oklahomies.
Is Oklahomies a thing? Has anybody trotted out Oklahomies? Because you're all homies now, and you're in Oklahoma.
Can you say homies? Someone
Are we
told me
allowed?
that you can't say homies
You
anymore.
can't say that anymore? Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Someone said
feel
that,
free
but
to use it at
I
your
like
leisure.
Oklahomies the best. If you can say homies still.
I just thought on local news, like, hello and welcome to your local news. It's Oklahomans.
Sean, would you like to take a picture here with all of your Oklahomies? Yes. So what we're going to do now, if you guys want to stand up, we're going to stand up. We're going to take our stage selfie
Thank
here.
you all so much for showing up and being here this weekend with us.
Stand up.